Good afternoon, this is Professor Chisholm, and this is for WGD1030 assignment 2.5. This is the Animate dashboard. Now, I've had to do this several times because it didn't work, and then I finally figured out where the problem was, and I do not know why. So your file is missing something, so it will not work properly. So I will show you what that is. Check this. So you have, I don't remember which one I just added. So you need to make sure that after the style closes, that you make sure that you have these two in here. Otherwise, it won't work. One of them is missing. I think it's the second one that's missing. It took me forever to try and figure out, because I kept looking at the code, and it works fine. And I copied it straight out of the book, so I didn't quite understand what was going on. So that's what's missing, is that. Now, what I want you to do is, I want you to go ahead and make a little folder that says assignment 2.6, and I want you to, let me save as, so what I have is a desktop. I have my 2.6 folder, just so that, or is it 2.5? Never mind. Assignment 2.5. Oh, where'd my assignment 2.5 go? Did I get rid of it? Hold on. Oh, it looks like it. All right. So what I want you to do is I want you to create a folder, a new folder, and you're going to call it assignment 2.5. Okay. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to take week 6 of the book, copy chapter 6, and then I want you to paste it into 2.5. That way everything's there, because then all your linking is going to be fine. There's 2.6. Now, I also need you to go back into that initial book, and I want you to make sure that you give me, copy the CSS images in JS, copy that, and paste it in there, so that you have all of that in there. And then we're going to be working on Animate. All right. So I'm going to get all the files. It doesn't matter. So the book is correct. I just went through it, so everything's good. So let me go ahead and show you what you need to do. Okay. So assignment 2.6. So let me go ahead and save my file. File, save as. I'm going to go find my new file, desktop, assignment 2.5, and then I need to go into chapter 6. I need to just save it, replace it, yes. Okay, so, all right, so this code does work. Let's go ahead and run it, make sure that I didn't mess it up. Chapter 6, animate, all right. So there it is, slide over the pink bar. It does. Okay, perfect. Now watch that. So notice how it eases out smoothly, and then it sort of bounces back in. All right, perfect. That works perfectly. So my file does work. Yay, there's much rejoicing. All right, so let's take a look at it. Now, this is what's important, and I don't remember. I think it's the second one. Line 22 is what I had to add, but I wrote the script out and I was like, it didn't work. So I was like, okay, what is going on here? So I had to go back and keep trying, and then I finally figured it out. So let's go ahead and let's break down this script right here. So we're essentially, so there's our script tag, and I do really like brackets because it'll show you open and close. So what we're doing is we're creating two little animations, and the first one I showed you was how it eased in slowly. Well, it does it over, I think, a half a second, but it's smooth, right? And then the other one, it sort of bounced. All right, so let's break that out. So this is one little code section, block of code right there. That's one little function. So we're telling it, okay, so what we want you to do is when the mouse is hovering over it, we want you to slide out. So, and then the second code is, the second animation is right there, is for it to bounce back in, ease out, bounce. So it's going to go back in. So what you're going to do is, so we have something called dashboard. Okay, so it's called the dashboard image. pound dashboard. So what we're doing is we're calling up that image because we need it to slide out. So that's what we're doing right here. We're saying, okay, when the mouse is hovering over the dashboard, then we're gonna have this function that says we want this to animate, and what it's doing is it's starting at 0 and it's easing out in 500. It's like milliseconds, 500 milliseconds, which equals yeah, half a second. So that's what that's doing. So we're calling its $sign and then in parentheses, single quotations, pound dashboard, and then it's dot hover on the outside of the parentheses, followed by another parentheses, okay? And notice that that closes all the way down there. Then inside of that, it's function with 2 parentheses next to it, followed by a curly brace, okay? Now, this is where we're telling it. Okay, so we're going to have this. It just refers to that object to animate, okay? So how we do that is we do $sign in parentheses this, dot stop, parentheses, dot animate, and then the start of another parentheses, which we close here, and then followed by a curly brace. Now it's in the action inside the curly brace, which is what is actually going to happen. So what we're doing is we're asking it to go to 0. So they clearly set this to be 0 is when so they've defined 0, okay? So they've defined 0 when it's in the outer this right here. That's 0. So they made 0 to be here. So it's saying we want you to come out to go to 0, because we know this when we look at the next set of because it tells us in this one to bounce back to -92. Okay, so it's defining it. We want it to go out to left, and it's set a color of dark blue. Dark blue. See, when we go over it, it showed a second ago. So as it comes out, the color is changing. See, if you look, it goes from purplish to dark blue. So it's going to dark blue, and then as it goes back in, it's reverting back to that pink, okay? So that's what we're doing. We're then saying, we want you to pull out left 0, and then we want you to change the color to a dark blue. And you're doing it 500 milliseconds. 500 milliseconds, which is about a half a second, and you're going to ease in. It's a very smooth animation. So that's all this little function does. That's what that is. It's just showing us to animate. So then the second function is to make it bounce. And essentially we're repeating a lot of what we did in the first one. So it's still this dot stop dot animate, but this time we're saying, hey, we want you to go to the other direction. And we're pulling it back to -92, which sets it back to where it was originally. And we're changing the color back to its original color, which was sort of that pink color. And you can see that when we do the animations. But this time it's doing it 1500 milliseconds, which is about 1.5 seconds, okay? And it says ease out bounce, so that we see that little bounce. So the only thing is just to make sure that you get all the little curly braces and all the parentheses and all the semicolons to make this work. But as you can see, it does work. So you just need to get that script. But again, if you make sure that you put all those files in, just zip it and send it to me, then it's going to work fine. Otherwise, it won't work, guys. So you need to have, because it needs, because we are referencing, we're actually referencing other files that are in our root folder. So just think of it as a root folder. You're just going to send me the whole root folder. Okay? All right. That pretty much sums this up. If you have any problems, let me know. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.